Today is Monday, April 7th, 2025. I'm creating a video for Nathaniel in reference to the chart that shows your daily routine and gives you a way to track your progress. Nathaniel, there are 4 stages of mastery that apply to any and every skill endeavor, regardless of the industry. Skill is developed the same way. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're learning to play the piano, if you're learning to cook, if you're learning martial arts, if you're learning basketball, all of these are skills, and there's only one way humans develop skill. There's a path to mastery of skill that is the same for every endeavor. You want to master the crossover and the behind the back move. There are 4 stages of mastery. The first one is foreign. Everyone who ever tries to learn something new begins at that stage. And it is at that stage where you experience the most failure and frustration because everything is new to you. The concepts are new. The mechanics are new. It feels awkward when you try it. You don't feel like yourself when you're doing it. And so there's a lot of failure. There's a lot of frustration. And it is in that stage that most people give up because they think, because this is so hard, I must not be the athletic type. I must not be the musical type. I must not be the math type, and so on. As if you're born a certain type. That's not the way it is. You're born with open, unlimited potential that you can apply in any direction. You can learn piano. You can learn to cook. You can learn to build houses. You can learn to do math. You have open potential. You're not locked into a certain lane. How you apply that potential is up to you. Where you apply it is up to you. So there is no math type, athletic type. You can learn it. It's just a stage. And that's the important thing to remember, is it's just a stage. And the way you progress through the stages is with 2 things. And these are the only 2 ways to progress through the stages. Repetition, that's doing it over and over and over again with intent to improve. You're not just doing it over and over again. You can't just have the repetition without the intention to improve. There are people who have been driving cars for 30 years and they haven't improved that skill. Because even though they drive over and over again, it's part of their daily routine to drive to work, drive to the store, drive here and there. There's no intent to improve that skill. And so the repetition doesn't result in improvement. Nor can you just have the intention where you're just sitting on the couch and you intend to get better at basketball. That's your intention. You intend to get better at basketball, but you never do repetition. That doesn't lead to improvement either. So you cannot just have repetition. You cannot just have intent. You must have both of them. Repetition, doing it over and over again, and every single time you do it with the intention of improving. If you will do that, you will move out of the foreign stage to the familiar stage. Now you don't feel so awkward doing it. Now you start to understand the concepts. You understand the mechanics of it. And it is at the familiar stage where you have a mixture of failure and frustration and success. There's a mixture. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. And it is at that stage where people will say, I'm pretty good at it. At the foreign stage, they say, I'm just not this tight. At the familiar stage, they say, I'm pretty good at it. But you want to go further than just being pretty good at it. You want mastery. And so you need more repetition and intent. You keep doing it, and every single time you do it with the intention of getting better. So if you make changes, those changes are adjustments you make to get better. And if you'll do that, you'll progress out of the foreign stage to the familiar stage, and out of familiar into fine-tuning. In the fine-tuning stage, the statement is, I'm better than most. It is at that stage that you are fine-tuning. You're just making small, minor adjustments because there aren't any big gains to make anymore. Now you're just getting minor gains, but each minor gain moves you further and further ahead of everyone else, ahead of the pack. You're fine-tuning at this stage to get just a little bit more improvement, just a little bit more improvement, just 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and those inches stack up. You're better than most at that stage. And then if you will add more repetition and intent, the final stage is mastery. And at that stage, you are the creator. At that stage, you're not following rules anymore. You're breaking and creating new rules. At that stage, you're not reading the textbooks anymore. You're writing the textbooks. You're teaching others. You're creating your own styles. But those are the 4 stages. I'm sharing this with you because you will encounter failure and frustration as you work on that crossover and that around the back move. But if you will keep doing it again and again and again, and every single time you do it, don't let your mind and your heart and your spirit be absent. Let them be present. Let there be an intention to do this better this time than I did it the last time. And if you'll do that, you will progress through those stages, and there's not anyone on this planet who can stop you or who can prevent you from progressing. You own it. And that's the way I want you to look at it. You're making a purchase. You want master level skill. You can't buy it with money. You buy it with repetition and intent. Those are your currency. And so the more repetition and intent you pay, the more you purchase mastery. So every single time you do it, you're owning it. You're purchasing it so that you can own it. Now, once you own that skill, you can take it onto the court and you can use it to destroy whoever's in front of you. But you must own it first. And you'll know when you own it, because everything in your body will feel like, yes, I can do this. That confidence will be there. So here's what I want you to do. Find a video clip of someone who does that move exactly the way you want to do it. Screen record that video clip. Watch it over and over and over again so you have the picture in your mind of what it is you intend to create with your own body. Once you have that in mind, do the move. Set up a chair, a cone, whatever. That's your opponent. Put it on the court. Do that move on that opponent over and over and over again. And every single time you do it with the intention of getting better. Do not be absent where you're just doing the move, but your mind is on playing a video game or what you're going to have for lunch or whatever is coming up. Be present in your training. Do it over and over again. And then record. Record it so you can see it. The measurement is important because you need to see yourself making progress. And if you're not measuring, you won't notice the progress, and then you could get discouraged. But when you see progress, that progress turns into motivation. It turns into fuel. When you see that you're improving, you want to keep going. But you won't see the improvement unless you measure. So you must measure. Where are you right now? What do you look like when you try that move right now? Take a video recording of it, of yourself doing the move, so you can see how much better you do it a month from now, 2 months from now. Measure. So get a screen recording of someone who does the move exactly the way you want to do it. Set up the chair on the court, who is your opponent. Do the move over and over again. Do it with the intention of getting better. Video record it every single time you do it. And every day you do it, put that 5 in the box on your chart. So you have 5s all the way across. I'll create the chart. We'll get together and decide how many days you want to do it, how many hours, how many minutes per session. We'll decide all of that. But the important thing is that you do it every day. And then week over week, you're going to start seeing improvement. And before long, you're going to be using those moves on the court in real competition.